of them. He was there to explain the rules, then leave. Jonathan made two big announcements. First, he picked 4 kids to be in charge. They were now the town council.
Members of the town council were the leaders of the society. They determined the rules and made decisions based on what the children did or did not want.
Then he gave them basic supplies to last 40 days. But there was a catch. They had to haul everything to the town where they would be living. This was barely 30 minutes into the show, and they were already doing heavy labor.
Individually thinking my own thoughts. I'll work with you guys, but I'm not going against what my own principles and values are.
Soon, one kid became the center of the drama. Her name was Taylor. Taylor was only 10, but she was one of the most disliked people in Bonanza City. She was loud, she refused to do her chores, and she didn't care if others were mad about it. When people complained, she always gave the same answer: deal with it.
If anybody has a problem with it, you're sorry, but you're gonna have to deal with it.
Taylor quickly became villain of the show. At least that's how it looked. But she wasn't the only one causing trouble. Even the town council created problems. The town council was supposed to lead the town, but some of their decisions only caused more fighting, like when they tried to combine everyone's beliefs into one religious service.
And what we were thinking was to have just one religious service for everyone. And we would like choose a couple people from the different religions to come and speak.
Not everyone liked that idea, so the district voted for a new leader. But all eyes were on the yellow district. Taylor versus Zach, the one everyone was waiting for. The votes were counted. Zach won and Taylor was out. Zach jumped up and yelled, "Viva Revolution!" Taylor tried to stay calm, but she wasn't happy.
It's gonna be real hard for me tonight to get used to sitting on the low benches compared to the council sitting up on the high podium.
The kids were learning how to vote.
Hey, what's good, YouTube and Twitch? It's your boy Trizzy Hendrix. You feel me? You feel me? You feel me? Right now, we about to be reacting to the most controversial reality show ever created. I don't even know what reality show it is. We gonna see. I did like some little like itsy bitsy skips, but I couldn't put together too much. It just looks like a lot of kids causing anarchy. So let's just get straight into it. I don't know what's happening. I'm gonna read this to y'all because I fuck with y'all. I love y'all. But I hate reading, but I love y'all. So it balances out. The content in this video is for informational purposes only. Based on believed reliable sources. They may not currently be fully accurate. Viewers should do their own research and not solely rely on this information. We're not liable for any inaccuracies or omissions. No information presented should be considered as state of fact. I do not condone, endorse, or encourage any of the behaviors or activities shown. I urge everyone to also act responsibly and within the bounds of the law. All materials in this video fall within the fair. Oh, that's just that's the copyright bullshit. I mean, don't about the shit. Straight into it. I mean, I do for YouTube purposes. I do for YouTube purposes. I do, but I know y'all don't. So I'm for y'all. Hold on. What's wrong with my sound? Cause my laptop ain't playing sound. Okay, that got sound.
So my goal this year is
to build their own society.
Okay, there we go.
Couldn't push the envelope any further.
There we go.
Just when you thought reality TV couldn't push the envelope any further, get a load of this new show called Kid Nation.
Just 40 kids with a chance to build their own society.
Our work is cut out for us.
This is the first time that he's ever been away from home his entire life.
They're not willing to intervene because money trumps responsibility when it comes to television.
Kid Nation. Kid Nation. Kid Nation. Kid Nation. Kid Nation. Kid Nation rule.
So what happens when you send...
Child of the Corn. What is this?
40 kids into the desert by themselves with no adults and leave them on their own. In 2007, someone turned that into a reality show. This is the insane story of Kid Nation, the most controversial TV show ever. So my goal this year is to give you guys double the amount of videos without sacrificing quality. And to do that, we got to keep growing. So 68% of you guys aren't subscribed, and it would mean the world to me if you did. And I promise to give you more fire content on Visual Venture, and you are awesome.
I know, I'm gonna subscribe.
Ever wondered if your Mac is underperforming?
Extreme idea. Kid Nation started because one man saw a problem. A TV producer was worried that the reality genre was growing stale. To him, reality shows were supposed to be messy and unpredictable. But around 2007, most shows were safe and boring. So he asked his team, what's the craziest show we could possibly make? Something that would shock and entertain at the same time. Their first big idea was to make it about kids, not just teenagers, actual kids ages 8 to 15. But what would those kids do? They found their answer in a disturbing book from the 1950s. In 1954, someone wrote a book about kids trying to survive without adults. It was called Lord of the Flies. In the story, a group of boys got stranded on an island, so they decided to create their own society, and it did not end well. They turned on each other, they fought, and their new society descended into chaos. The story was unsettling. One review even said Lord of the Flies is one of the most disturbing books I've ever read. But when TV producers read the book, they had a different reaction. They thought the chaos would make great entertainment. The producers finally had their big idea. Take 40 kids, drop them in an empty town, and let them run it by themselves. For 40 days, the kids would live by their own rules. No adults would interfere.
Not gonna lie, Kid Me would have had all this shit right. Kid Me, oh man, Kid Me, I'd have been like, okay, this is what we gonna do. We gonna have it organized. I don't know how I did it, but I would have did it.
Cameras and chaos.
It's either that or I'm trolling. It's either I would have ran shit or I'm trolling. There's no in between.
Add competitions and prizes just to create rivalry. Looking back, it's obvious how extreme this idea was.
How do you bitch that? I know you've got safety at the forefront of your mind. Inevitably, though, the kids will begin to one another to form a dominance hierarchy.
Nothing like this had ever been done before, but somehow CBS approved the show. They picked the kids, found the town, got the cameras, everything was ready. But there was one last step. The kids' parents had to sign a 22-page contract. It basically said that no matter what happened on the show, parents couldn't sue, not even if the contestants were exposed to uncontrollable hazards or worse. Each child would be paid $5,000 for their involvement. The contract was unsettling, but they signed anyway. After all, it was just a TV show. What's the worst that could happen? But the public didn't love the concept. One reporter wrote, the show attempts to turn kids' unsupervised escapades and misadventures into entertainment. Even now, people on YouTube call Kid Nation the worst TV show idea and the nearly fatal reality show for children.
Oh my God.
Back to the story.
What was these little niggas doing?
Onto a bus and driven deep into the New Mexico desert.
City kids, country kids, rich, poor, and everything in between.
It felt like an adventure, but things that were about to go wrong really fast. A whole new world. Viewers weren't so sure it was a good idea, but they couldn't look away.
I cannot believe we're watching this show. It's just Survivor, but with children.
The kids stepped off the bus into the desert. They were met by one adult, Jonathan, the host. But he wasn't there to take care of them. He was there to explain the rules, then leave. Jonathan made two big announcements. First, he picked 4 kids to be in charge. They were now the town council.
Members of the town council were the leaders of the society. They determined the rules and made decisions based on what the children did or did not want.
Then he gave them basic supplies to last 40 days. But there was a catch. They had to haul everything to the town where they would be living. This was barely 30 minutes into the show, and they were already doing heavy labor.
On the one hand, it's pretty discouraging, and we were having trouble with the wagon. Heavy. But on the other hand, it's almost encouraging because it can't get any worse.
The trek was long. The supplies were heavy, but they made it. Their new home was called Bonanza City, an empty, dusty town in the middle of nowhere.
Back in the 1880s, this was a thriving mining town. But then lack of leadership, lack of resources, and lack of will combined to leave it completely and totally
Life here wasn't going to be easy. One of the first things viewers noticed was the bathroom situation.
Wow. They had one toilet for 40 people.
Damn.
And the funny thing was, there was a line of like 20 kids waiting to use the outhouse.
But that was just the tip of the iceberg. There was no running water. Their homes were old wooden cabins. For food, they got canned goods and dried beans. That meant they had to learn to prepare their own meals.
Here we have corn and tomatoes, good for stews, but not much else. Tomato juice, baked beans. I hate these, they're disgusting. Canned peaches, canned apples.
They also had some farm animals and a town store. At night, they slept on paper-thin, dirty mattress pads. This was only the first episode.
Oh my
as soon
God.
as viewers saw the living conditions, they started blaming the parents.
Because I think the parents are liable here. Because I don't think like an 8-year-old is just like, Mommy, can you send me out into a desert with Jonathan Karsh?
The conditions were already tough, but things were about to get tougher. The next day, the kids were split into 4 teams or districts: red, blue, green, and yellow. The main reason for this was so the producers could organize competitions. Here's how it worked. Every few days, districts went head-to-head in showdowns. Their performance decided their social class. The team that came in first became the upper class. They didn't do chores. Second place became the merchants. They worked in the town store. Third place became the cooks. They had to cook and wash dishes for everyone. Last place became the laborers. They did the hardest jobs like cleaning, picking up trash, and hauling water. The kids didn't invent this system. The producers did, and it worked. Everyone wanted to be in the upper class. No one wanted to be a laborer, so they were motivated to win at all costs. But something about this system felt harsh, and viewers noticed right away.
The greatest thing is that the weakest and worst group in these challenges do all the physical labor and the most amount of tasks.
To some, it felt like the producers were trying to make things even more difficult. On day 3, the kids had their first showdown. They had to race to pump water. The faster the finish, the higher the class. The red team won, becoming upper class. The blue team came in second. The yellow team was third, and green finished last. So they became laborers. But there was one more twist. If all the teams completed the showdown within an hour, the entire town would win a reward. The reward came with a tough choice. The kids had to choose between something they needed or something fun. After the first challenge, the choice was between extra outhouses or a TV. They picked the outhouses. Why?
Smart.
Because the television would be a distraction for all the work that needs to be done to build Bonanza City. There was one last thing the kids needed to do, and it was the most important step in building a new society.
Every 3 days, the pioneers come together for an old-fashioned town hall meeting.
Who is unhappy with the job that the council is doing?
The town hall meeting was where kids could discuss issues facing the town. They could complain, argue, or even stand up and give a speech. It was part debate, part group therapy. The meeting was always run by the town council, the 4 leaders of each district.
Hey, listen up! Be quiet! All the council leaders have a really important announcement to make.
To get started in data analytics, you don't need previous experience or
Town hall wasn't just about talking. It was a place where a kid could quit the show.
Nobody is voted off, Kid Nation. You only leave if you want to.
At the very first meeting, that's exactly what happened. 8-year-old Jimmy, the youngest kid on the show, stood up and left. Jimmy didn't quit because of the chores or the food. He left because
It was like chores. Fuck no, I ain't doing that shit. That nigga said, this is nigga, I'm out of here. I ain't doing that shit.
All the council leaders have a really important announcement to make.
The town hall wasn't just about talking. It was a place where a kid could quit the show.
Nobody is voted off, Kid Nation. You only leave if you want to.
At the very first meeting, that's exactly what happened. 8-year-old Jimmy, the youngest kid on the show, stood up and left. Jimmy didn't quit because of the chores or the food. He left because he missed his family. But for those who stayed, there was a reward waiting, a big one. Each week, the town council gave out a gold star.
I don't believe I miss my family. Nah, he ain't want to do them damn chores, nigga.
You're supposed to go to
nah, like we doing chores at home. I ain't doing chores here. Hell nah. Hell no.
really
I ain't
help
cleaning up these little dirty ass kids. Fuck that shit.
town. Someone who worked
That
hard.
nigga old soul. His old soul kicked in. He was like, oh, I ain't doing it.
Fixed problems and gave moral support. And the gold star came with a cash prize.
It's a 2-pound star that's literally worth its weight in gold. 20,
$20,000.
The winner got $20,000, and even more important, they got to call home.
Yes, this is Alex. You'll not believe what I have to tell you.
After days in the desert, that phone call meant everything.
I just won a gold star and it's worth $20,000.
Everyone wanted to win a gold star, so they worked harder. They were more helpful. They stayed strong. But not everyone cared about the money. Some just wanted to make it to the end, to make their parents proud. But the real problems were just...
fuck that. You put me in the game, talk $20,000, I'm doing that shit, nigga. What? I wanna beat all of them. Put Kid Me up in there. Man, put Kid Me up in there. Kid Me was a problem, bro. Hold up. I think my phone dead, but nah, I used to play sports. MVP, nigga. I got the proof. I'm gonna pull it out in one of the next videos. My phone dead right now.
Starting.
Proof,
The
nigga,
chicken
MVP,
episode.
Nigga. I whooped all these little niggas. Hey, back.
Food. Most of the time, the kids ate beans and rice because that's all they had, and they had to cook every meal themselves.
Well, when we first started planning for dinner, I realized that a lot of us haven't done anything like this before.
I need enough for 40 kids. Way too much in it, huh?
The kids were struggling. Then one day, the town leaders called a meeting. They had a big announcement. Everyone was sick of eating the same thing every day, but there was a way to get something better: chicken. The kids were excited. They couldn't wait to bite into some chicken. Then they saw the problem. The chickens were still alive. If they wanted to eat the chicken, they had to do what needed to be done. Viewers knew the show was pushing the limits, but this was insane.
A group of 8-year-olds have to crowd around a chicken and somehow clean it and then cook it and not along the process.
It turned into a huge debate. Some kids treated the chickens like pets, so they didn't want to hurt them. Others didn't care. They wanted to eat. A few kids even locked themselves in the chicken coop to protect the chickens. And one girl threatened to quit the show if they ate the chickens. But in the end, the majority voted to go through with it. They were going to eat the chickens. Then came the next problem. Who was actually going to do it? That's when Greg...
That girl was giving it to her. You better
if they ate the chickens. But in the end, the majority voted to go through with it. They were going to eat the chicken.
You can tell her attitude.
Then came the next problem.
Look at her.
Who was actually going to do it? That's when Greg stepped forward. Greg was 14, and he had worked as a butcher's assistant before. Greg grabbed a hatchet and did what needed to be done. It was unsettling. If anyone still thought this was a game show, this moment proved it was real. At least to the kids. The chicken debate was a major argument, but it wasn't the last. Because the kids started turning on each other. Heroes and villains.
Oh my god.
The kids in Bonanza City didn't really get along. For one thing, they came from different places. Each kid was different. Plus, they were tired and cranky. So it was no surprise when they started fighting.
I find that really funny that you say you were nice to everybody on day one. You treat me like I'm not gonna treat you good.
But the adults didn't try to calm things down. The cameras just recorded everything. They thought drama and struggle made great TV. This became the most controversial part of the show. Some viewers thought it was cruel to record young people in these difficult situations.
Was this not awkward to film? You're just silently filming and cry? What are you monsters?
The class system made everything worse. The laborers had to do the hardest work. They felt like they were just servants.
I'm a laborer now. This morning I got up at 6. I scrubbed toilets, I did laundry, and I hauled a big barrel of water.
Meanwhile, the upper class didn't have to do any chores. They just sat around while others worked. The arguments kept
he
getting
loving
worse.
that shit. You know this little nigga right. He loving
had
that
to do
shit.
the
Look
hardest
at him. Look at
work.
him.
They felt like they were just servants.
I'm a laborer now. This morning I got up at 6. I scrubbed toilets, I did laundry, and I hauled a big barrel of water.
Meanwhile, the
look at this guy.
class didn't have to do anything.
You're like, yeah, do this work.
They just sat around while others worked. The arguments kept getting worse and worse.
Right now, the only people I respect are you on the Green District. If you all have my back, then I have your back. That's all that matters in this entire town.
I'm going to be an individual thinker. Thinking individually, thinking my own thoughts. I'll work with you guys, but I'm not going against what my own principles and values are.
Soon, one kid became the center of the drama. Her name was Taylor. Taylor was only 10, but she was one of the most disliked people in Bonanza City. She was loud, she refused to do her chores, and she didn't care if others were mad about it. When people complained, she always gave the same answer: deal with it.
If anybody has a problem with it, you're sorry, but you're gonna have to deal with it.
Taylor quickly became villain of the show. At least that's how it looked. But she wasn't the only one causing trouble. Even the town council created problems. The town council was supposed to lead the town, but some of their decisions only caused more fighting, like when they try to combine everyone's beliefs into one religious service.
And what we were thinking was to have just one religious service for everyone. And we would like choose a couple people from the different religions to come and speak.
Not everyone liked that idea. Some kids didn't want to share their religion. Others didn't want a service at all. The arguments split the town even more. And some viewers thought this showed how messed up the show really was.
But this could be a great learning experience if there was a mature person to actually teach them about these types of situations.
Even after the debate, the chaos continued.
I don't see any food. No food. It looks like all our laundry and all our water is frozen in. I think the town definitely really needs some law and order because the people are just doing whatever they want, whenever they want.
And when
I got one challenge for you. Try Whisper Flow.
things got too hard, kids started quitting. Jimmy, the youngest kid, already left during the first town hall. Later, 2 more kids followed him, so 3 kids left Bonanza City before the show ended.
Damn.
Each time someone quit, the town grew smaller but stronger. The ones who stayed felt like survivors. Then, someone raised a red flag. A few weeks into filming, New Mexico officials got an anonymous complaint about the conditions at Kid Nation. Inspectors tried to visit the set, but they were turned away several times. Eventually, the producers convinced the authorities to back off, so the show continued. The kids stayed in Bonanza City trying to build a town, but even as things fell apart, one thing never stopped: the showdowns. Every week, there was a new showdown, but some viewers didn't like these challenges at all.
In episode 8, the showdown that they do is just an immature and idiotic idea from the...
One of the worst challenges involved gum. The kids had to chew as much as they could in 1 hour. Then they used the chewed gum to color in a giant picture.
Not only is it extremely unsanitary and unhealthy for everyone involved, but there are multiple kids here with braces.
That's how COVID and how China virus spread it, because of shit like that.
Gross. One showdown was all about history. Teams were given pictures of US presidents. Then they had to line them up in the correct order. Other showdowns tested their strength. Kids had to crawl, climb, or carry something. And everyone wanted to win, because winning meant you were in the upper class, and losing meant you had to pick up trash and do the worst jobs. However, a new type of contest also happened on the show, and it turned Bonanza City upside down. Democracy or disaster. Remember, Bonanza City was run by the town council. There were 4 kids, 1 from each district. But there was a problem. The council was getting power hungry.
Technically, we make the decisions whether they like it or not. They just have to deal with them.
These council members weren't chosen by the kids. The producers picked them, but that was about to change.
You keep hanging around that girl, you gotta deal with it. You gotta deal with it. Yeah, you have to deal with it. You have to deal with it.
Their leaders. So the host stepped in with a huge announcement. There would be real elections.
If anyone wants to run against them, raise your hand.
This was the kids' first taste of democracy. They had to campaign, they had to compete, they had to convince their friends to vote for them. The toughest battle took place in the Yellow District because they didn't really like their leader, Taylor. Taylor was the same girl who told people to deal with it when they complained. Running against her was Zach was likable and hardworking. He was everything the kids wanted. The election got messy fast.
Yellow District, will it be Zach or Taylor? Here we go.
Kids took sides. The campaigns were loud. There were screaming matches. And finally, it was election day. The kids lined up. One by one, they cast their votes. The leader of the blue and green districts kept their seats. The red district voted for a new leader. But all eyes were on the yellow district. Taylor versus Zach, the one everyone was waiting for. The votes were counted. Zach won and Taylor was out. Zach jumped up and yelled, "Viva Revolution!" Taylor tried to stay calm, but she wasn't happy.
If
It's gonna be real hard for me. He might get used to sitting on the low benches compared to the council set up on the high podium.
The kids were learning how to vote, how to lead, and how to build something, but the show was coming to an end. The show lasted 6 weeks. On the final day, the parents arrived in Bonanza City. The kids ran to meet them. It was emotional. Some kids gave their parents tours of the town. They showed off their cabins and even the chickens they prepared.
This chicken feet from the chickens we chopped up.
What the fuck? Okay. His face says it all.
It's time for the final town meeting. Jonathan, the host, gave it the
You know that you know. It probably was the mom's idea. I think it was the mom's idea.
On the final day,
there was
arrived
arguments
in
as soon as they got back
The kids ran to meet them. It was emotional. Some kids gave their parents tours of the town. They showed off their cabins and even the chickens they prepared.
This chicken feet from the chickens we chopped up.
Then it was time for the final town meeting. Jonathan, the host, gave it the last announcement.
Head outside, grab your bags, and say goodbye to each other for the last time ever. We will miss you and keep building a better world.
The experiment was over, and that's when the backlash began. Millions of angry viewers.
I want to see this show. Not gonna lie, I want to see what the fuck going on in this show.
It aired in September 2007.
What?
CBS thought they had a hit. The ads made it look really exciting, but once it hit TV screens, everything fell apart. Viewers weren't impressed. They were horrified. For starters, many parents hated the concept of the show.
Being a young single mother like myself, I wouldn't feel safe sending my 8-year-old child away alone by themselves.
One review said, this has to be the work of an escaped mental asylum patient, right? Who funded this?
Yeah,
Child
I'm just
psychologists
curious. I
also
want to see what the fuck happened exactly.
planned the
That's what I
show.
want to see.
Is this exploiting minors for the sake of entertaining the American public? My guest, child psychologist Dr. Susan Bartell.
Then major news outlets ripped the show apart. One reporter said Kid Nation used contestants as fodder for fun and profit. One headline read, Kid Nation, reality TV gone too far? But people weren't just shocked. They were asking if the show was legal.
They're not willing to intervene because money trumps responsibility when it comes to television.
Child safety advocates accused the show of violating child labor laws. Their biggest concern was how much work the contestants did. The network scrambled to defend Kid Nation. They claimed the set was more like a summer camp rather than a place of employment. They also said medics and psychologists were nearby the whole time. So according to them, the kids were always safe. But critics weren't convinced. Another issue was the emails. After the show aired, families of the kids received emails from viewers. Some of these messages were quite harsh. Then the kids themselves started speaking up. Some said the producers fed them lines to create more drama. Kid Nation became a full-blown scandal. Of course, not everyone hated it.
Ship my kid off for $5,000. Why not?
But that support
She blew it on a crack rock. Oh, that's a meth head. Oh, she's like, oh my god, yeah, get my kid for $5,000. Oh yeah, oh my god, Tony, yeah, this is a good deal, yeah. Oh, we get high tonight. That's what they saying,
families
oh
of
man.
the kids received emails from viewers.
Oh man, I know a crack fiend when I see one. She's a crack fiend.
Messages were quite harsh. Then the kids themselves
He's on
started
some
speaking
sort of
up.
something.
Some said the producers fed them lines to create more drama. Kid Nation became a full-blown scandal. Of course, not everyone hated it.
Ship my kid off for
Look at the bags under her eyes. You know when you could just say, I read her whole aura. Hold on. I read her whole aura. I see it.
Why not?
Why not?
But that support wasn't
Man, I'll check her arms.
to save the show. At first, Kid
I wanna see
Nation
how many
got
holes she
strong
got in her
ratings.
arms.
9 million people tuned in for the first episode. Then it dropped to 7 million in episode 2. By the final episode, fewer than 7 million people were still watching. The backlash was so intense that CBS never made a second season. The network hoped people would forget the show and move on, but they didn't. Years later, former contestants started speaking out. They shared their stories on podcasts and interviews. Some said the show helped them grow. Others said it wasn't a positive memory. Today, Kid Nation is considered one of the most controversial reality shows ever made. It's used as an example of how far producers will go for ratings. And if this is what we call reality TV, maybe we need a reality check. Visual Venture. Wait, before you go, make sure you guys...
They lucky is how I know about this show, bruh. They lucky. Oh, they lucky. Oh, man, I would have been starting up Anarchy. Just for the love of the game. Oh, man, no joke. I don't know what I would have did. Oh, my boy, let me go on this show realistically. Let me show my black ass up. $5 grand? Hell no. Nah, my mama got more sense than that. She wouldn't put me on this show. I might want to go, but she might say no. She gonna say no and be like, ah. Shout out to my mom, though. But yeah, nah, make sure you like, comment, subscribe on the video. You feel me? And shit. But yeah, y'all, I'm about to get up out of here, y'all. Easy.